pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Welcome to the June meeting. Nicole, would you like to address council first?
Sure.
I don't know if you...
Yeah, just because I have her. I don't know how patient she'll be.
Yeah.
Isabel. Is that Alex? Is that Alex? I want to make sure.
Just hand her off to anybody.
Yeah, no, I remember. Okay, so yeah, I'm here on behalf of Mount Jewett Swedish Association. We are approaching that time of year again. Our annual Mount Jewett Swedish Festival is scheduled for August 8th through the 10th. We are asking again this year for a lift in the open container ban. We have continued to have huge success and positive feedback from offering a beer garden, and we're hopeful we can continue to offer this attraction in the years to come. As per last year's request, we are asking that the ban be lifted on all public sidewalks in the downtown district the weekend of the festival. All alcohol will be purchased under our beer tent located on Center Street, and they'll be provided in non-breakable containers. We will continue to be responsible for IDing and placing wristbands on those that are of age, and we will also notify the state police of the event that we will be serving alcohol. We greatly appreciate your consideration and our request to lift the open container ban this year for the festival.
I'll motion that.
Okay, we've last 2 years it's went well. I've been down here because of having the scout booth and stuff, being on the festival committee, it goes well. We've had no issues. The wristbands work great, as far as that. And like she said, the state police, they have to notify them so many hours prior to when it starts up, so.
But wasn't there because she said downtown district, didn't we cut it off at
Well,
Oberg or something?
Anderson Street and, Division, I think was.
Okay.
That's
Right?
Yeah.
I don't know who was.
Wherever the vendors go to is really what we want.
On board here was here last year.
I remember we had shortened it down a little, but I also remember, because I think they were looking for a permanent every Swedish festival, and we decided not to.
Yeah.
We would address it
Well,
every
we
year.
brought up, yeah, it doesn't hurt to have it be brought up.
Yeah, I'm fine with coming every year to task.
So you make a motion
All
to,
motions to
We
do
just like to
that.
see you.
Yeah, that's the only time I come.
okay, motion been made by Frank, second by Jesse. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And I'm going to abstain since I'm on the festival committee.
I'm also abstaining festival committee and profession as a drug and alcohol certified case manager.
So 1, 2, 3, 4, motion carries anyhow.
Yeah.
Sounds good. Well, thank you guys.
Anything else? Or you,
That's it.
okay, thank you.
Thank you. Just see you guys.
Okay, anybody else wish to address council?
I do. Can I? Okay, last month, Bernecki brought up a significant issue regarding potential legal responsibility. She mentioned receiving comments from the public about a matter that could create a serious legal risk for the borough. She stated that this issue seemed to be widely known throughout the borough and was being swept under the rug. She stressed the importance of the internal accountability before criticizing the public. So you guys had, after this was mentioned, you had an executive meeting. You talked very loud, and I heard that it had to do with Brett's drinking. So I want to know, are you looking into it? I'd like to, anybody can comment, but I really want to hear from Jane and Jesse. Jesse, you being personnel. Are you looking into this situation, and what steps will you be taking? Because this would be a liability. So tell me your thoughts and what are you looking into it? What steps will there be in the future for this? Because he is on call 24/7.
Well, in the case of on-call, he does have backups for himself in the event that he isn't able to take care of it. So that's taken care of. He was asked directly, he denied it. As far as I can see, it's hearsay. It's just literally brought up as somebody told me that this is happening. There's no accountability. I can't follow up any further than that, really.
And I guess from now on, we will make everybody leave this building to have an executive session. Because whether you heard something out here or not, whether it was getting loud or not, that's not good. So we'll just have everybody start leaving the building when there's an executive session.
Thank you.
I was under the assumption the building had been vacated. I wasn't aware there was anyone outside the door
No,
that
yours
was.
was sitting there too.
Can I speak as an employee?
Yes.
If you guys are going to discuss personnel issues, I prefer as an employee. I know this isn't about me, but it not to be done in a public meeting.
Right.
I agree. I don't think.
Because regardless of whether it happened or it didn't or what they're going to do, that is personnel.
Right.
And that doesn't belong in a public
Right.
meeting.
Right. I mean, I agree.
I agree, but we can't, I mean, if we didn't take the precautions necessary to keep the executive session confidential,
Yeah, but it had
I'm
started
just
in the meeting.
saying in the future,
Yes.
I don't think you guys should discuss personnel in a public meeting.
well, no.
No.
we
Regardless.
didn't. We had the executive session, but what I'm saying is we didn't take the precautions necessary to ensure that that was kept confidential.
And Brett left the room mad,
Yeah.
But
swearing
I
too.
had no.
So,
Yeah.
He kind of gave it away there too.
Okay. Anybody else?
Craig called me as I was driving down here. Anything new on the sewer?
No.
no.
Okay.
No, we haven't heard a word.
I didn't expect there to be any, but he asked me to ask the questions.
Go ahead.
Alright, so I reached out to the contractor, showing him the pictures, asking what the update was going to be. I know he's been waiting for it to be dry, so he doesn't make a bigger mess up there, so do know that it's being taken care of and being addressed. Just welcome to spring, winter, I don't know. Wednesday, we are submitting the offer for the church to be purchased by the Hilltop Heritage Coalition to make it a community center for Mount Jewett. If anyone on the council or in the public would like to submit a letter of support, I understand it's only 2 days, but it is, it would be greatly appreciated. Mayor, as you as well. So luncheons are kicking off on June 9th. This is our 5th year, so we're hoping for success. If anyone has donations, we'd greatly appreciate it. We do have a modified flower basket up in front of our house. We've been testing it. We finally got the chains today that will hold up to 90 pounds. We bought them. We didn't really like the chains that came with them, so if you want to take a look at it. Unfortunately, what was previously approved last year went from $140 to $282. Needless to say, we couldn't afford that project. We will keep an eye on them, but for this year, we will have at least 10 baskets up coming up that just have a petunia mix in them, the standard. Jane probably knows so much about. But we do have families in town that are willing to help with the watering, and we are more than welcome to anyone. If we will post a big post about it, but if anyone's interested, because we have obviously more than 10 out there, posts too, we can continue adding to the mix.
Just make sure everybody's telling who's doing what, so one doesn't get drowned and another one doesn't get fried.
Definitely. That is definitely, we just wanted to make sure, we had to get one up and we're like, okay, we watched it swing, we watched it rain, we watched it sit, we watched it cook, and everything, so. Also, they are powder coated, but we do have heat shrink on them so that there is no metal on metal, so there is no chance of scratching or anything on the post. If this turns out to be a good thing, we went to St. Mary's yesterday. They have just regular baskets, but they have the hooks attached to the post. If this works out, that might be an option too. Those right now are about $120 to $140 for the hook that comes off the apparatus. So we can definitely look at that if that's something.
Yeah.
We're in the wrong business, obviously. Music on 6, I have been approved by Barb, so that will kick off next Thursday and go for 6 weeks, so June 12th. June 26th, July 10th, July 24th, August 7th, and August 21st. I will be confirming with the Swedish Festival. We did it last year.
I didn't
Pretty much
figure,
played-
but you never know if they were gonna have to set
We
something
pretty
up
much
for
play
it.
into like the Rotary Club setting up their tents and stuff, so. Kinzu Bridge Foundation does have their picnic coming up, up at the community park as well on June 19th. It is open to anyone to come, join, have fun, and help us lead the bridge. And then our third annual car cruise is set for June 28th. I've been confirmed that we were reaching out to, I believe his name is Nate, for the hardware store just to make sure we can use that lot again, but I was told that they're not gonna open till fall.
That's what I heard, cause I
Shelves
thought,
went in, I got excited and,
yeah, I thought maybe it was supposed to be sometime in June, but I heard it's gonna be now fall.
yeah. And I don't know if he's having problems. I thought they would just bring extra stuff from the other stores, but you know, that's why I don't run a hardware store, so he ordered all new for that, so. Okay, thank you so much.
Anybody else to address? John?
Thank you. Now, I notice you start the timer when I speak, and two other residents
I
spoke.
don't know watch, I was just
I
looking to see
see,
if
but
mine
use a
was.
stopwatch on me.
No, I don't have.
Okay, well, anyway, thank you very much for allowing me to speak. I appreciate the privilege, and I look forward to coming here once a month for my 5 minutes. I understand you guys are all volunteers. So I'd like to start by saying I've been a resident for 25 years of the community, taxpayer of the community, and if I have concerns, the only way to address them is to come to the meeting and address my concerns. So, I know everybody here has raised your hand and taken an oath, to do what's best for the community. And so, we were talking earlier about accountability, and so, we have a personnel policy that states that all employees must punch a time card. However, all employees don't punch a time card. And so one employee is extremely favored that can work whatever hours they want, whatever days they want, and whatever minutes they want, and they still receive full-time wages and benefits. So as a taxpayer, I'm concerned about the dollars that are injected into somebody's bank account on a regular basis in full health care benefits with no deductibles and no co-pays, and no accountability of what it is that they're doing or performing. There's anybody in this room can tell me how many hours this week somebody worked at the sewer plant, or how many minutes, or at all. But I know recently, in fact, all last year, of how many minutes, and I divided it out, and then we went through that it come out to over $800 per hour. And so I'm asking the council, why can't we have accountability and have documented proof, time card, of what it is that the taxpayers, us, are getting for our dollars that are paying. We know that every other employee, what time they come, what time they go, and if they were to get hurt, who they were working for, because it's documented. So because it's public funds, I would think it would be required to have documentation of what it is that we're getting for the dollars that we're paying. So I would hope and encourage anybody that believes the same way that I do, that would make a motion to have all employees punch a time card like the policy says, and if anybody votes against that, then it's obvious that there's a conspiracy here to fraud the taxpayers of dollars, because there's no documentation of where this money is going. And if you don't want documentation, then there's nothing else that you can call it but conspiracy to defraud the taxpayers of Mount Jewett. Thank you very much.
Is that true that it is a
What?
I was gonna ask Barb if that was a policy.
She's coming right now.
Is it a policy?
Is it a policy?
That
I don't know
they
whether
have to
it's in the
punch
policy or
time
not.
cards?
I don't believe it is, but I don't know that for certain.
So originally, cause the sewer was in an authority, they did whatever. I mean, I don't know what, we just kinda kept it the same as what
The authority has it in their minutes from the past, but he did not have to punch a time clock.
Yeah.
And it
And
was a
also
vote
have it-
made by all of the authority employee, or the authority people.
and I mean, it's just a cluster right now. We need to sit down and go through our personnel, or our employee policy of, as far as what we, need to have implemented and what we don't, because there was some things that, an attorney, we had a couple back there, Dan Hartle, that,
He didn't even want you to have
yeah,
one.
he didn't want us to have this set up that way. He said, he put you into a lot of liability, some of the, the things we had in there. He said, keep it very simple and basic, is what he said. But, definitely Chuck, that's something Chuck was, apologized for at one point for dragging his feet at one, trying to, get on it and get it done. We, started looking into it, and then it kinda got dropped or whatever, and, we gotta get it looked into, yes. And as far as benefits for the one he's talking about, he pays majority of his,
We pay a third.
we pay a third, so he pays the majority of his insurance.
And we do have deductibles and we do have co-pays.
That are covered by the HSA.
No, we still have our own deductibles and co-pays. They pay 90%, we pay 10% of whatever we have done.
Aren't HSAs up to the individual?
No, the company can actually contribute to them,
Oh, okay.
up to $3,500 a year, I think it is.
It goes up to 44.
Is it 44 now?
Okay, Charlie, you had,
Yeah, I'm just here inquiring about the sinkhole at the baseball diamond.
yeah, the guys, it's in their report, but the guys went up and put, cause originally they said it was about this big, and when they went up, here it is, 5 feet wide or something, about by 3 feet.
Yeah.
He said, yeah, I think what's
I
happening,
didn't go look at it, cause I'm afraid that.
what's happening is when that was built, I mean, I wasn't here in the '80s, so I don't know. But I was told just through the grapevine that, things were just shoved in across there and got leveled over. So I don't know if it's like stumps and things like that are rotting out, what it might be. I don't
Something
know.
like, I heard it was basically like Oak Island underneath there, but it's not,
It started
There's no
out
rhyme
as
or
a
reason to it.
manhole cover size.
Right.
And it turned out, I got pictures.
Yeah, I
5
have
foot
pictures
around,
Frank sent,
4 foot
kept out, and I
deep,
went up and looked, and when
You would've lost
Rick and them
the
were
kid.
telling me about it.
playing ball.
But they took and put
Fill
stone
it
in there,
I seen that.
and then took some, like that stuff that they swept off the street on
Yeah,
top
yeah.
of it for now.
Yeah.
Cause we wanted to make sure if it's gonna go down again, and why waste putting topsoil back on,
Yeah, yeah.
on the very top of it.
Yeah, I
So-
didn't know, I know last year we brought this up and Brett said that he would get to the root of it. I didn't know if there was any investigation.
Yeah, I don't know if,
last year.
we're just gonna end up having to hire somebody to take some equipment in there and start digging, to figure what the heck's down there.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, my son, well, he's not working for me anymore, but out in Indiana, or he lives in Ohio, but they do core samples for the highways departments, all the state highway departments and stuff, and airports, and he said, you would not believe the amount of trees, stumps, stuff like that's under all these type of on and off ramps and stuff of highways. He
They
said,
took down
unbelievable, he said what they come up with on their
Did you
course
guys
it-
get the email I replied to
What's-
about that?
what's that?
Did you guys get the email that I sent out in the reply to the sinkhole thing?
I read it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, I read it, yeah, I
You
didn't
said
reply.
16 ton?
22,
22.
yeah. I have 22 tons of gravel in that little driveway of mine because the first 6 tons just, and I was throwing stuff in there before. I used to just kind of have fun with it and throw like a cinder block in and stand on it and just watch it sink in because it was so soft. And yeah, the first 6 tons of gravel just like within a couple years I had mud again, so I got 4 more tons and then I have a total of 22 tons of gravel in that driveway. So really my driveway should be like 3 feet higher than the road, but it's just a different topography up there. Like I
Yeah,
said, that's-
well, it's
I've been told
a
there's
spring,
no
that whole
springs
hillside's a
underneath.
spring, so
Yeah.
I don't know if that would have anything to do
Bless
with
you.
that, yeah, I just don't know what
It's hard
the,
to say, but there's definitely, I don't think there's gonna be like a really easy, quick fix to it.
right,
You know, it'd be nice if filling it with gravel fixed it, but I don't think it's going to.
yeah, I don't know. I don't have the answer to that.
We could dig at the end of the
Well, I was
season.
gonna say, when it's, season's done with, maybe look into seeing what it would cost to have somebody come in and dig
Well,
in.
that would probably be just the hourly rate we're gonna get.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I'm
can
sure
you
somebody
take heavy-
local-ish would probably.
Is it solid enough to take heavy equipment in there?
is it what?
Right now,
Is it
no.
solid
right now,
enough?
No, it's
I think
pretty
so.
wet out.
No, and then the
Might
back,
use it.
this tobacco getting up
Yeah,
was,
the backhoe made a
So I know
pretty
now
good
you
trench.
can
yeah,
take
trench,
that-
yeah.
you can
We
take
are
that
done
and
planting
go
now.
right to that.
Doesn't
Well,
sound
we're
right.
done planting.
And
The
then
season's
dig a
over.
hole,
Yeah.
and fill up with water.
And no one else is gonna play for the rest of the
So-
season up there?
Should be no.
Just the teams.
Other-
Just water
other-
polo.
Well, yeah,
That's
other
important.
than the Swedish festival
Yeah.
for the
the old timers.
old-timers.
Mm.
So,
Oh shit, they'll break a hip or something, well,
Well, a neighbor of mine took
More
me up there
exciting.
the other day and-
well, it's something we'll have to look into, so, further than what.
Yeah, a neighbor of mine took me up
I
there
didn't
the
see
other
her.
day and
That's
showed
a
me
man's
where
sense.
he feels the pavement, the new pavement is beginning to
No, you're
lift and
fine.
things, and I just, and, if you're walking in there, it would be on the right side, the drain needs redug out and all that stuff, but, I told him, you know, being that it's basically a swamp, I don't really care, I don't know,
Anderson Street's a swamp right now too.
yeah.
In the whole yard.
Reminds me of that Monty Python thing, they built a castle and it sunk, and then they built another one and it's, well, mistakes in there.
Get to the bottom-
Okay, anybody else from the public?
What's that?
Get to the bottom of it eventually.
I'm just gonna, the election we just had, I don't know if anybody has the answer that, you know, from here from the council, but why did we have 6 openings, if I was correct? But we could only vote for 4 people?
Well, first off, I was mistaken when I was thinking there were 6 places. There wouldn't have been, cause Chuck Parr just passed away this year. And so that wouldn't have been on the ballot. Why they only have the 4 seats and then, well, there's 4 seats, it's 4 years is what's,
and then there's a 2-year
and there's a
seat.
2-year that's left to fill in
But nobody,
from,
when they put their paperwork in, nobody put in for a 2-year seat.
I did, and the lady told me I couldn't do that, and it was up to them to decide.
I
So
don't
was
do
like,
the election, but that's
No.
that's
but-
why nobody
well,
was
then
on the
don't-
ballot there,
Yeah, I
because
saw
everybody,
that,
But
you know,
when you
paperwork
say
was
that
put
nobody
in
put
for
in for
4.
2 years,
you know,
that's
you have
not
to do it
true,
right,
because I
and I'm
did.
like, what
Okay.
is this?
So-
You know?
Yeah, I was
She
very
said that's up to
confused.
us to
I guess
decide.
Smethport was messed up too. There was like 5 and just,
Yeah, we had nothing compared to what Smithport had to screw up on.
Like, is there gonna be a way to put a 5th candidate?
well, there is the rating.
We have to wait for the,
November?
election,
For the general election?
no, Smithport to clarify what's to be done.
Okay.
What, cause Barb called
I'm
down
waiting to
for
hear
me,
from them, I put a call
and,
in.
I assume somebody.
she called down and they, oh, gee, we'll have to look into that, that was, so we haven't heard since that, when I had her call down to ask about
I can say that the election folks were fantastic, because they said, you're gonna go to another page, and it's gonna be confusing, but you need to write somebody in there.
it. Well, I didn't even give it a thought when I went in and did that, cause I thought, well, geez, I could've put somebody on running off the 6 or 9 that was running, I didn't even think about that,
And I assumed you couldn't add nobody into there that wasn't named.
Well, anybody could be put in,
But, oh well.
Mitch.
Back to the park. Last year, I told you guys you need to do something about the drainage up there. It's terrible. And the house that Gina owns, it pumps water out. I think that's the water from the park. You guys need to get the drainage fixed in there, or you're gonna have lots of problems. It's a mess up there.
Yeah, and what's tough is that whole hillside, so,
I know,
I mean, you live on it, so you gotta,
I've been taking care of mine
yeah, I mean,
little at a time, but, the drains need fixed. All the way down probably Gallup Avenue. You need to be deeper and get that water out of there. I mean, when it's raining as bad as it's been, nothing's gonna fix it 100%.
yeah, right, you're right, 'cause
But it's a mess, but you guys, last month were talking about doing more work up there, putting more money into it, but if you don't get the drains in there, you're wasting your money. I feel what you did with the blacktop was a waste of money because the drainage needed done first. If you don't drain it, it's never gonna be right.
Well, I mean, it still can, they got drains there, but it could be, more could be put into, out around there and down to the Cleveland, or what was the Cleveland Canal.
And then, Brett last month talked about getting a bid on paving Center Street because it was so bad. Well, I went out and looked, Center Street isn't that bad like he said, but I looked at that one catch basin, it needs redone. Probably all of them need redone there.
Here, yeah.
Yeah, you know, talk about putting, you know, coating on top to make it look pretty, that's all you're doing.
Yeah.
And, you know, Anderson Street needs catch basins, High Street needs catch basins.
Yeah, Anderson Street needs cleaned out, and I told the guys when Rick's on vacation, I said, when he comes back, we gotta address, you know, cause they do go up like on High Street and clean a couple of them, but we gotta get on it here and get a lot of those cleaned out.
Well, they cleaned out the one last year when I complained about the road that goes up to the water tank. And I watched them drive down by earlier in the spring, and they looked out the window at it and kept on driving. You know, it gets leaves and everything in there. I do what I can when I can, but it's not my job.
Right.
You know, so this drainage, especially with the water we've been getting lately, needs taken care of.
Yep, that's an issue. I'm gonna sit down with Rick and go over some things on
Well, like I
catch
say,
basins.
talk about putting pavement down when you got drainage that needs taken care of, that all them catch basins. Walk around, look at them catch basins.
Yeah,
They're
I'm
bad.
up on Anderson Street looking at some of that.
There's 2 brand new ones on Anderson.
Look at
Well,
the
the
one.
one in the corner by my
They don't
house
work,
Yeah.
is gone, so.
Yeah. They all need taken care of. You know, before you worry about making a smooth road out of it.
Yeah. Well, that's probably not gonna happen anyhow on Center Street, so. Okay, anybody else for,
Sorry. So after our install of the playground, we do have $336 left over for grants. I know originally we had talked about putting in new locks, for the concession stand bathrooms, having a digital lock rather than a key lock. I didn't know, since we have sports boosters here too, if that's still on the table or we can use it for something else.
We have digital on like the power one and the concession. The keys were never found. I'm having low watts come in and make new keys, so you guys can have them. I know that was a question for you guys. But Lowe's gonna come in and make new ones.
Okay.
But yeah, we like to keypad ones as long as you don't lose the keys in the winter because the battery's down.
right, if the battery's down, you better have a key.
Yeah.
Then I will reach out to the sports booster and see how we can apply the
All right,
additional.
yeah, if you do that, I appreciate it.
Yep, I can do that. Also, September 26th, we were gonna have a town hall, and then this whole election thing kind of went crazy. We're thinking about still having a town hall for all of the candidates, and maybe explaining what happened to the ballot and how to rectify, the ballot if they're not going to have I don't see them having another election or primary.
No.
But that's definitely something that maybe we can sit the town down and go, okay, this is what happened, but this is how you can still vote for people, and this is how we're still voting for all the seats that are available. Maybe that would help, because I don't think we had it. I didn't expect to have it before the primary. We wanted to have the primary, and then we could have all the, candidates up in September before the November election, so. That's just something Hilltop Heritage, we're not political, but we wanna make sure the town's understanding what they're voting for and how. Thank you.
Okay, Jim?
Well, it shouldn't take more than 5 minutes, but, I'm very happy to be here. That's it.
I took Jim's time.
All right, mayor's report?
Congratulations, Annie, on being sworn in. I swore Annie in, this month, or this last month. Sorry for not being here last month. I had a last minute work trip. But I just wanted to publicly thank the fire department and the Sons of American Legion for a really nice Memorial Day, and of course the auxiliary. It was very special, and Leslie Davis really did a nice job giving a great speech. I thought it was a spectacular ceremony. Actually, the only nice day we've had. It seems like it was Memorial Day, so that's that. And then I let all of you guys know I submitted a grant application to the the public something DCED, which is one of those acronyms, you know, from Harrisburg, for some updated park equipment. And I'm not sure when we'll hear back, but I submitted it with the hopes that if the time comes and we do get the grant, then we can vote on spending the money for the match. With, you know, me being gone, it was just the timing was a little funny. But I have the some of the pictures of the equipment that was in the grant proposal. I worked with Mark Kelly. Thank you for connecting with Mark. He was really great from Apollo Sports, and he was helpful. So I'll pass you around if you guys want to take a look. And yeah, so hopefully we'll get that grant, and that's all for me.
So typically, how long will it take before we hear?
I'm not sure. Barb, do you have any idea from just past experience of submitting grants?
Before you hear,
Yeah.
probably the end of the year.
Okay.
Or 6 to 8 weeks.
A long time, I think a lot of people applied to them, so a lot to come through. But
Okay,
Oh, you put the money out for the application. Does she need to be reimbursed?
it's fine. I'm happy to make the donation. It's okay. There was like a you had to donate, or you had to do like to submit
Application.
an application fee. Yeah, it was $100, but I'll just donate it. It's okay. Thanks, Frank. Though I appreciate that.
I don't know if that allowed.
Is it allowed? I mean, I think so.
I don't know.
Anyways, if it's not,
I have $336 I can apply to a grant from a grant.
okay, that's good to
That
know.
helps with the playground, I mean, if that's a bigger, better. Sorry, boosters, you only got 200 now.
We're good on funds.
well, we can reject it anyhow, you know, if we,
No, that's full. I'm just saying that she put the money out of her own pocket.
yeah, I mean, that's up to the council, if you wanna have it reimbursed, that's,
I'm happy. It's really okay. I'm happy to do it. Just call it my my penance for not letting you guys know sooner that I needed to put a match letter in there.
okay. Maintenance report, did you have time to look over that?
Did you motion and second?
Oh, no, I didn't.
Sorry.
Need a motion to second to accept the mayor's report.
I'll motion to accept the mayor's report.
Second.
Seconded, okay, motion been made, seconded, everybody in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion carried.
Thank you.
Okay. Maintenance report. Barb, what was he talking, he never said anything to me about the broken window, is that at the library?
Yeah, it was a storm window in the back.
The storm window,
A storm window that was on
Okay,
the
it's not
rollout
the-
windows
okay.
in the
so
back
It's
room.
not in the, window itself, cause
No.
those are simpler to have replaced, if that's the case.
Yeah, he took the storm window off,
Okay.
took it down and got it
Oh,
replaced.
he
It
already
cost
got it?
us, it's all fixed.
Okay, I thought it sounded like he, it needs to be looked at.
No, it's all done.
Alright, thank you. Now Barb, it's in yours, right, as far as the amount for the sewer thing up here? They have that
Oh,
backflow?
it's $1,500.
Well, we'll get into it when we get to yours.
Oh, did I put it in mine? Yeah, I did, okay.
Yeah, well, I was thinking it was in theirs, but it's not. As you, I'm sure everybody saw that the Kane street sweeper was over and got things taken care of. Did have a couple of issues that broke down when they were about a quarter of the way done. And he got it, the Kane ended up finding out what the problem was, got it fixed, but he wouldn't come back over that day. And the next day he was sick, so never made it back over till, I think it was a Thursday, following Thursday. But it's all been taken care of, get done before Memorial Day, so that was good. Okay, any questions on
When are they talking about a new mower?
what's that?
Oh, that's the mower for the sewer. That Husqvarna that I bought for the sewer, when the sewer authority bought it, they knew it was the last one. It came from California. One of the workers down there said that's the mower they needed, and they looked all over, and when they bought it, Kelly told me that they were told it was obsolete. They weren't making it anymore. Well, now we've come to the problem that we can't find parts for it. We got belts, we had belts break, we got them from Canfield. She ordered all they had left in stock and said that she will not be able to get any more belts for them. And they're not like a belt that you can just go, I need a 15-inch. So eventually it may come to the point that it breaks down and we're unable to find a part for it. So they just figured you guys should know that.
Yeah, I mean, for now, I think we're just gonna have to deal with what we have and, I mean, it is difficult. It's not a bad mower either, but, every time something does happen, they have a hard time getting something to fix it. And I just can't believe there's not any aftermarket.
That's what I was just gonna
That's
ask,
what I was
if there's
thinking.
any aftermarket or-
And even belts, it gets me even for the belts and stuff, cause I order a lot of my mower belts on the aftermarket instead of going through Craftsman or whoever to.
Yeah.
Do we think it'll,
It's usually just the length and
Right.
width.
Right.
do we think we'll have it through the summer? Like, do we think it will make it through the summer?
I personally think it will.
Then we could probably put
But-
it off until
I
spring.
don't
Well, the
know.
new mower is like a
Well-
phone call, basically.
Yeah, but they looked at one that was had tracks instead of.
Because this
tires,
is the one that they
being how it is
use.
down there and getting stuck constantly.
They use it on the banks.
Yeah, we use it on the bank,
Yeah,
but.
they're like $6,000.
Oh, no.
No?
21.
$21,000. I was like, no.
How many goats can you get with? Concord?
Yeah.
Yeah.
True.
Go steal something, snuff them.
No, goats are better, they eat anything.
I'll motion to accept the maintenance report.
Okay, I'll second
You second, you say?
it. Yeah.
Okay, motion been made and seconded. Everybody in favor, say aye.
All right.
Anybody opposed? Motion carried. Okay. Sewer maintenance report. Jesse, anything you know? That not being here?
I know that there was, McClellan, but I think that was actually last month.
Yeah, it was.
So, I think this was a pretty good month, actually.
Well, the only thing I'll say as far as, and I know it's under Barb's manager's report, but, she's got a quote for, Clone Avenue to prevent the blockage, the backflow thing, to prevent blockage from happening. The quote was $1,500. That's under sewer, so, I'm not sure exactly what all is going, or, entailed in that, but I guess that don't sound too bad as far as having to dig up to put that in. And the cost is, I don't know how much on, with the issues that we had going back up into a basement.
You haven't got the bill for that
Oh, that's
yet.
right. So $1,500 probably would be a cheap fix as far as what we're gonna end up paying to the Surf Pro or. So something that, that quote was from that, not Pipe Eye, but the other company.
TG Pipe Services out of Bradford.
We wanna have a motion on.
Yeah, I'll
hiring
motion.
them to take care of that.
Get it done.
I'll second.
Okay, Frank makes it, Andy seconds. To have this company come in and do that for the $1,500. Everybody in favor, say aye. Anybody opposed?
Do they have a
Motion carried.
clause in there in case they run into something they didn't see?
I'm sure they do, cause,
Okay.
I mean, even in construction, you put it,
Well,
like
our
on
law.
a roof,
Yeah.
it does not include resheeting, you know, if it needs this or that, you
Yeah.
know, that's gonna be above and beyond.
Are you gonna send us?
What happens?
Are you gonna
Pardon me?
send,
If they-
are you gonna send
we
us a
run into
link to
something,
the
we
website
just
for
gotta
those
do it.
plaques?
They'll have
So we
to
can-
probably take care of it.
I can, yeah.
Yeah, that'd be
Choice
great,
to-
cause I'd
Yeah,
like
okay.
to.
Yeah, I don't wanna be the one to
Yeah.
Cause I
choose
did
it.
see it.
Yeah, I have,
Oh.
yeah, right, yeah. we
No,
can't
but I
put it on
don't, there's
hold
so
and
many
open it.
choices, I
Yeah.
just don't wanna,
Yeah, if you,
yeah.
if you wanna just send a link and an email to everybody and then we can.
Wasn't that on the plaquemaker.com though? or-
It is, plaquemaker.com.
Yeah, I was on.
All right, let's, get the sewer maintenance,
Okay,
Did we accept the borough manager?
I haven't
Did
done
we
it yet.
accept the sewer maintenance?
Yeah.
yeah, sewer we did, no, the sewer we have, that's what we want,
Yeah.
the sewer, we accept it.
Motion.
Motion, second.
I'll second.
Motion been made and seconded, accept the sewer maintenance report, all in favor, say aye. Anybody opposed? Motion carried. Okay, Borough Manager's report.
Okay, spring cleanup went really well. We had 17 residents that participated. The 2025 F550 should be completed soon. I think maybe another week. And then we'll get the 2016 cleaned up and get it advertised. We have a quote for work on the sewer. We already took care of that. Pocket Park was advertised. We got one bid. We'll have to rebid it. Okay, the signs we were just talking about for Heritage Park were purchased from plaquemaker.com. There's a lot to choose from. I don't want to be the one to make it. I don't know how big you want the sign to be. I was telling Tom, seeing that other big sign up there says Mount Jewett Community Park, if you wanted to see about getting one to put on it as donated in memory of Dana Polson, like to put on the bottom of that sign. I don't know how you guys want to do it, but I don't want to make the choice of what the sign is made
Might be a
from.
good place to put it, you know, so it's noticeable.
Yeah, but you said they wanted it worded a certain way.
No, they,
Just in memory or
Just, yeah.
Oh, okay.
yeah, I think it looked
Who did
better
you
than
get the
just
sign
saying this field was.
do you know who the Rotary got the sign from that's up there? Do you know? Was it
trying to
from
think
Cousins or?
No, I think, Jerry Clark might have been the one that
Is it
made that for us.
Be one or the other, Jerry or Cousins.
Yeah, it'd have to be one or the other, but some reason I think it was Jerry.
Because then if it's right there on that big sign, you would be able to see it. But you guys make up your mind which one to do that.
Any thoughts on that? I think that's, you know, it was a good idea as far as putting it on there. It'd be more noticeable and not have to put a post there and then one more thing to mow around.
Yeah. Just need a size.
Yeah, we need to decide here tonight, you know, what size we
She's
want.
just gonna email us a link to the website and. Are you just looking, do you have it narrowed down to like 5 or 6 or is it just like
Nope.
free? Yeah, okay.
Nope. I didn't know what kind of material you guys wanted to use. If you wanted copper, if you wanted brass, if you wanted tin. I don't know. I just.
No, I was on there this afternoon looking, I wasn't sure, like, I mean, they have some nice smaller granite ones if you wanted to place it like, you know, on grounded pillar ones. Then they've got like the plates, you know, some very pretty, some nice bronze ones.
Did you notice price on them or anything?
No, cause I'm a girl, so I was just looking at colors and.
It depends on your materials.
I was looking at what was pretty. No.
Do we wanna move forward on that?
I guess send it to everybody, let everybody look. I mean, whether it's voted on this month or next month, what's the difference?
I just wanna keep moving it,
I'll send everybody the thing and you guys through email can talk back and forth or whatever and make a decision on what you'd like. McWapic dinner's on the 26th. I have some reservations. Just let me know by the 12th if you're gonna.
I'm not flying in from, New Mexico
Well, not all
I
of us
actually am
can.
flying in on the 26th, but won't be till midnight to get home.
Okay. And then I sent several letters out for code violations. Tom's been working with me with them, so.
Where's that dinner being held, by the way?
It's in Johnsonburg.
Where?
At the fire hall.
Oh, okay.
I went to Johnsonburg's last year. It was very nice. Yeah. They had a good meal.
Barb, the only question I have, just making sure, cause, you have 12 written here, but said 17, was that, an update, or is that?
Participated in the spring.
12?
It's
12 in
12
your
on the paper.
Yeah, that's why I said 12.
Maybe you
Oh,
said
but you
17.
said 17 when
Oh,
you were talking.
sorry,
It's okay.
12.
I was just making sure,
Oh, I
thank you.
said 12.
Okay, the guy at the McWalpack, he gave this to me. In June, it's supposed to be in Kane, and in September, it's supposed to be Johnsonburg. So I don't know if he's wrong or if we're wrong.
No, it's not me. I gave you guys all the things.
Yeah.
Came from Johnsonburg.
Yeah.
That's maybe Kane and Johnsonburg swapped their
Maybe.
dates.
Okay.
Because
okay.
Kane's would have fallen right in alumni weekend.
Okay. Oh, I bet that's why they did it.
I bet they switched.
Okay.
I kind of have a question, and it probably doesn't matter much, but I am having lunch with Leisha Paulson tomorrow. Would we want her to look at anything and see what she?
Sure.
That's a really good idea.
Let her pick.
Yeah, yeah, that might be even better, let her
Yeah,
pick.
let her pick.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Okay.
That would've been her brother-in-law, so.
I motion to accept the borough manager's report.
I'll second. Or,
Doesn't matter.
Okay, motion by Jesse, second by Jane. Everybody in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion carried. Okay, approval of the treasury report and payment of bills. Everybody had time to look through that.
We skipped the minutes.
Last month's minutes.
Oh, sorry.
you can just accept them as.
Yeah.
Is that what we normally do, just accept them, or do we have to have a motion?
We've been going back and forth on that.
Yeah, there for a long time, we were just doing, minutes or okay as presented or something like that. And then you went back to motion and then you went back to,
Well,
whichever way you wanna do it.
When I went through it, back
It
when I
was
was
supposed to be
mayor.
motion.
No, when I was mayor, that said that, it could be just approved
Okay,
as they were read.
Mhm.
So, I mean, if we wanna do that, that's fine with me, that's what I do at a lot of my other
okay.
meetings, I just. Okay, so, let's say they're approved as you read them.
Yep.
Unless there's any correction or.
Time for correction is long over.
Yep. Okay, approval of the treasury report and payment of bills.
I motion to accept the treasurer's report and pay some bills.
Motion been made, can I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, any seconds it? Motion been made and seconded, everybody in favor, say aye. Anybody opposed? Motion carried. Okay, approval of the sewer department financial report and bills.
I'll motion to, approve the sewer department financial report and pay the bills.
Okay,
I'll second.
Jesse seconds. Motion been made and seconded. Everybody in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion, anybody opposed? Motion carried. Alright, something Barb I didn't think about. We probably should've, when you brought up about the new truck being ready, we need, if we go on municipal bids, to advertise that at all. I know you, I don't think you've ever done that one. We did it when,
Teresa was,
Teresa was here. But if we do decide to go on, do it on through, we have to have a minimum bid, or we have to accept whatever somebody sends in.
yep,
There has to be a minimum.
yep, yeah, you have to have
Well, it
something
was
that they
stated
have
that it was
to hit.
valued at like 40,000, I know that.
Was it 40?
Yeah.
I think it was a little more than that, but.
Something like that.
So,
You can't put that much for a Ford, go for it.
do we actually, is that thing too old for a Blue Book volume?
It says 16, right?
Yeah.
I don't know, Mitch, would that still be in the blue book?
Yes,
Maybe we should look at that.
it's not been 10 years yet. So it depends on when it was made.
I mean, instead of wait till another meeting, we need to get this thing ready to go. They've got it washed up and, greased and everything else. It looks good out there. We just need to have it ready to. All right, Jane, enough with the smarts. I know you're a Ram person.
I don't know.
Ugly truck.
Hmm?
It's an ugly truck.
So do we wanna
A minimum
go
bid?
on, go on as far as saying, we look at Blue Book and go off of that? Do we wanna go that direction?
We can look at that, but we kinda have to have an idea in mind anyway. I mean, we're saying 40,000, maybe we should go like 35 minimum bid or something.
Well, I
Or
mean,
Blue
if
Book
they're
at the
saying
top.
it was booking it, or 40.
I would think that your minimum bid would be above what you actually, I wouldn't go down to 35. I'd say you need a minimum bid of 40 and hope to get more than that. They don't see the minimum
Well, you
bid.
have to
Either or.
look at what
Yeah,
it
they
is.
don't see it in a,
Right, but I'm just saying, like, check both, and since we're thinking 40, you can make sure it goes, and so go 35
Yeah,
or
because if you
something.
go listing it and it's find out that thing's only worth 26,000.
Yeah.
How many miles you got on it?
what's that?
How many miles?
I don't know off the top of my head.
There's certainly not.
38,
miles. That's
36.
another thing to consider when
Yeah.
Right.
putting a value
Yeah, I'm
on
sure it's a
it.
lower mileage because of, being just running town
Stop
mainly.
and go and stop
Plowing
and go,
streets
so
puts a lot on, but it's really,
So Kelly Blue Book right now, for 76,000, 2016 F550, is it a 4x4?
Yep.
Okay. So comparable, so you can easily start at 40, cause this one's going for 55.
Okay, well,
that's what when you said, they said 40, remember dealerships are gonna.
Okay,
lowball you
so-
anyhow.
We have to
Yeah.
sell it somehow and make money. So 2016 for 95,000 miles is going for 35, so yeah, you'll be fine.
yeah,
So
40,
I-
40 then.
40?
I said, I don't know, I was thinking 45 myself.
45?
Sure.
Sure.
Get the bids.
Well, cause
going.
you have to advertise it in the paper too.
Yeah. But we
So
don't
you
have
may
to-
not even have to worry about it. Somebody may see it advertised in the paper and come and make you an offer.
Right, but I mean, as far as in the paper, you don't have to accept anything.
Right,
But on
right,
municipal bids, you have to
Right.
have either have a minimum or take what the lowest, or the
right.
lowest bid that came in.
Yeah, it should be reserved bid.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's take it to Greg and Jackson.
Okay, I think that
So what do you,
do we need a motion?
They can just leave it at 50.
I would say,
I'll motion to put it on municipal bid for 40 minimum, and then in the papers
Oh, they
that
will.
we talked about.
Yeah, in the paper, you'll just put that you have
40 or 45?
accepting bids for.
I thought we were doing,
45,
personally, I think we can easily,
You can even get 50, I'm
it'll
just
be
saying
above
11
that,
right here.
Yeah. So 45.
then I'll say 45, yeah.
45.
I'll
Okay.
second it.
Jesse made the motion, Frank.
Okay,
So if we do go through the municipal bid, I mean, if you end up just putting in the papers, that's fine, but, you know. if we-
Well, no, if you guys wanna, we can do both. I just know from the thing that it has to, from the borough code, it has to be advertised in the paper.
Okay.
You can still do a municipal bid, but you have to do the
What's nice on
paper.
there, a lot of these other municipalities are
Well,
looking
yeah,
at stuff and looking for something that's cheaper than
New one.
right. Okay. Well, motion been made, second, everybody in favor of it, say aye. Anybody? Okay, approved. Maintenance, streets and buildings. We never heard anything back for, as far as getting, Sean Auguste up here from the state anyhow to give us a quote, what they, which we have to do for a street. But he never showed up, so it's getting too late to worry about it anyhow, so,
The street,
yeah.
what about the sidewalk?
How far do you mean then?
Up there,
We'll have to, we gotta decide as far as that, what we're gonna do as far as engineering and stuff. And then,
kinda needs to be done. Who was I talking to that said we should most definitely get a grant?
well,
That was you, right?
talking to, I know one of the engineers at E&M Engineering, and he said they also, when they come up and, do the stuff, they'll, put in for grants and stuff for us for it. They'll do that themselves too, just like the Eads group does, for projects, they'll push for the grants. It's a lot simpler than us trying to,
But we'll have to pay them for the engineering,
yes.
which, how much was engineering last time? 40,000?
It's typically.
you're
about
not gonna
5%.
be doing, right, you're not gonna be doing just that section, or is that what you're
Yeah,
gonna be doing,
that's
that
section
section?
from
Anderson
Street
to Oberg?
to Over is what we talked about.
Just take care of that for now and then hopefully go for something for the rest of it later.
Yeah.
Does, if we don't do a grant or like if we just did the work through a contract, do we have to do it, have to engineer?
Being on the state, right away, I have a sneaky hunch, I can have Barb check into it, but I think we're gonna have to.
There's no way around the engineering.
I don't believe so myself.
Oh, yeah, cause it's along the state highway, probably.
Right. Cause we gotta get those easements.
You could do it on the
from
side
all
streets
property
probably,
owners,
but not.
Yeah.
regardless, and you'd have to have an engineer that, does that, cause they have to survey it and do.
At the end of town, where the sidewalk's off of the street, do you have to do engineering there?
Where at?
Like at the end of town down there where it's not along the street? Because you know how it's all raised
Oh,
up?
by the school, you mean?
Yeah.
Well,
Still be,
I don't know or how close that falls. Might not have to there, cause that's not in the 50-foot right of way,
Yeah, it's in the grass, it's not.
60-foot,
yeah,
whatever Main Street is.
Cause that's terrible out there too.
Well, from the school down is the worst, from in front of Pam Stellies and Bob's and, right to the corner of Division.
I was told the signals, you're not going live anymore, so we may have to borrow from another live feed.
you were
So you
told
know.
what?
I was told you're not live anymore.
I wonder why, nobody touched it.
So should we just worry about
Probably run out of
the
battery.
two?
What's that?
Should we just worry about the two sections or should we just go for the whole 9 yards?
When we did what we did, the only reason we did get for that, cause we had the whole Main Street, and we kept getting turned down. And somebody told us
Did
Yeah.
it just quit?
to give you a
That's what he said.
little behind the scene,
I don't know why.
go by sections.
Okay.
And it's easier to
Maybe
get
there's
grant
been a new
for
thing that
doing it in
puts up your
sections.
alley.
So which one do we choose first?
He said it.
I say up here, 'cause that's,
He
this
said
is
it
the
quit
That
worst.
is, that is.
I mean, I know where she's talking.
He said it quit a while ago. He just
Yeah.
told me, cause I just got
And
his
then
phone
the new
number.
store's going in anyway, and people might walk to the store.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Your viewers couldn't see me.
Well, Well,
So-
let us reach out to E&M Engineering and see.
What it would cost to,
You know, I mean,
Draw it up.
we could ask Eads too, but I don't know, I guess.
E&M
get-
did the original plans for it, for the other sidewalk when we,
Yeah, cause I know when.
they're the ones that developed the design.
Yeah.
When
But I
we
just
did the
wasn't happy
other.
with, what's his name, that engineer, you know, ended up getting this here, I really wish we hadn't ended up with,
E&M.
E&M, but it is what it is.
so I'll motion we do E&M for
Engineering,
the engineering. for-
we'll have them look into, let's find out some pricing.
Yeah,
I'll second.
So we're making a motion for Anderson Street?
What's that?
I think it's.
Well, it's-
Anderson to Ober.
Anderson to Oberg,
Yeah,
section.
yeah, but I meant as a, well, just to give it a name, this one instead of that one.
Oh.
You're making a motion for
But it could be the other one.
East side versus west side.
Oh,
True.
boy.
I'll second.
Okay, motion been made to contact E&M Engineering for the engineering from Anderson Street to Oberg for sidewalk replacements. Everybody in favor, say aye.
Alright.
Anybody opposed? Motion carried. Barb, if you happen to call down, ask them if, Rob Cathers, Cathers, is, I'm not sure, I think he does some of their design work, and if he is, I really like, he's a very intelligent man.
Okay.
It would be good, if they, you know, if they're assigning one of their engineers, I'd like to see him to, you know, if they could.
Okay.
But we have to get some stipulations, see what, you know, cost wise and what, you know. All right, I don't have anything else on maintenance or streets right now. Finance, insurance, Sona?
Well, Barb finished up the report that give us the, year-to-date, expenditures and, compared them to what we had budgeted. So, she sent it out on the email, so I assume everybody got one.
Yeah, I didn't look at it. Yeah.
You want to?
Sorry.
Anyway, we're pretty much on schedule, for being 5 months into it. And,
A little bit under for expenditures and a little bit over for revenue, so that's good.
yeah. Got another month before we're at 6 months. So, you know, it's pretty well close. Barb does a good job.
Do you want another one at 6 months, or do you want me to wait until the third quarter, or what do you guys want?
Quarterly should be fine.
Go right into the third quarter, why?
Okay, I just wondered.
Yeah.
I apologize for it slipping my mind
You're okay.
For a month,
for the first quarter.
Yeah.
especially since she's gonna be dealing with the engineers and everything else.
Yeah.
That's a lot of work, Barb, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome.
And that's about it.
Do we have to motion each one of these? Can we do them all at one time?
Motion what?
This is just kind of a committee statement.
Committee.
Oh, we never motion
Oh,
in
okay.
committees, not unless you guys
All right.
motion to do something.
All right, anything else on that? Oh, no, is that it?
Oh, can I bring something with the finance? It's just an update for you guys. Our audit is not finished yet for the year. They asked for an extension because of the borough taking over the sewer. You know, they have to complete a sewer authority audit, then they have to do the borough with the sewer. So it's taking a little longer. I just want you guys to know.
All right, thank you. Jesse, personnel,
Personnel people are happy.
it's good to hear. Nothing else in?
That's it, that's it.
Okay, community development, planning and parks.
What do you got, Jane?
Well, we pretty much went over everything I did have earlier when they brought up the drainage swamp thing, so, swamp thing.
This one thing.
Oh, no,
That's
that
a movie.
stupid movie's gonna be in my head, but, yeah, that was pretty much everything that I had for that portion, so.
And I really do think that we need to be serious about exploring that sinkhole. He said just done with baseball.
I'd like to wait till
Yeah,
they start
of course.
digging into it after the festival.
Yeah, of course.
You know, they'll be wanting to use that for their old timers softball game,
Yeah.
so.
Well, he's gotta dry out more too.
No, it's gotta dry out.
You put, how much gravel got put in there?
It's just been sand, I think.
It was a
Oh,
bucket.
they put gravel.
They did put
Yeah,
gravel?
put gravel down under first, a
Yeah,
bucket, the
I
back of a
think
bucket.
seeing how that settles, I think will probably tell us too, like, right? If it's still there.
Yeah,
So,
they still have the cones up, I was up there this afternoon, and it's pretty.
They still have the
flat.
cones around it?
But yeah, it's like right up against that back fence.
And I think it's sinking more.
oh, it is,
I
the
think so.
gravel is?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, cause I think the cones
Was
are
it
leading
all-
in now.
Yeah,
They were.
Yeah,
they were when I was up there yesterday. they were-
for all we know, we got a stream running under there.
It's quite likely.
Because that one catch basin over in the corner that really doesn't do anything. I've never really looked to see where that pipe went.
Should we put caution tape or something, or just maybe along the back so people?
Darwin Awards, nope.
Huh?
Natural selection.
I don't know how we would protect ourselves with that. Put caution tape, then you're acknowledging that you have a problem.
You got cones up right now.
I
I
know.
don't think people are probably going inside of the fence if they're not playing ball right now, I'd imagine, so.
So when they're out with the dirt, do you want me to tell them to fill the hole and at least make a mound and let it see if it settles? Like, we have those two big piles of topsoil right now, like, they'll just take them off the,
Well, I'll take a ride up when Rick gets back from vacation. Take a ride up with him.
Put a big old pile there
And
and
see what, you know, what we think we could do to see what.
I'm just saying.
Cause the
when I was
big
a-
thing is, you know, with, like, it, you know, hopefully maybe these next 3 or 4 days supposed to be nice, maybe it'll dry up.
I think it's supposed to rain again Thursday though.
Thursday,
isn't it?
Thursday
Friday, we're supposed to
night?
get an inch of rain.
Nice.
I'm just putting my 2 cents of
oh, there were no more overflows?
topography knowledge. When Annie was up there, I was going to take pictures of the piles and stuff to see if anything had changed since the last, meeting. But, it looks like there's another hole to the right. And I don't know if that's just the way it looks.
There's like the second one now,
Yeah.
apparently. That's what's making me think, is the water.
Or if the logs are going that way.
Traveling, like, you know what I mean, like, I don't know.
I'll
They
send
have to
you-
actually get down on the ground and look in
Yeah,
there and
I'll send
hope
you
an
what I
alligator
sent
doesn't
them.
take me down or something.
And, on Messenger, I'll just like screenshot what I wrote, because it's,
I was just up there talking to Annie and she's like, I'm looking at the hole. I'm like, what about the other one? Cause there's like one to the right. So.
This baseball's over.
Yeah.
No toddlers will be lost in the hole.
Yeah.
Okay, fire department. Annie? Do you have anything?
Oh, I thought it was library.
Well, I didn't know, if you went to the meeting, cause Scotty's not here, that's usually the only way I
Well,
find out.
we haven't had a meeting, cause like the way last week
Oh,
worked
that's
out.
right, yeah.
So the meeting is this Thursday, but, we're through the gun bash went very well.
Have you heard anything as far as from Scotty when he was gonna try to get back on putting house numbers on?
That's what we're gonna do this week, is get a work committee together, because
I have a lot of people asking me down
Yeah.
the east end of town, as far as those ribbons, I said, you can take them down, cause I said, PA one call has to come back anyhow, cause you gotta do the work within so many days of that call in, so.
Yeah, they had a lot, like, after the gun bash, there was a lot of like trying.
I
to
knew
find
I wasn't gonna
schools
bother
going
Scott,
on.
cause I knew with the gun bash, he was
Yeah,
running, you know, every direction, so I wasn't gonna mess with him.
and we're doing a boot drive on July the 6th, so that's the next thing.
Out at the corners.
Yep.
Okay,
Did they hear back, sorry, did they hear back about that grant for the side by side? Or did that get put in?
Oh, for Martin Causers?
Yeah.
Like, I know they were
well, that's
working,
a
they were hoping to get,
6-wheeler, right?
just,
Yeah, I think so.
talking with them about that, but they, yeah. we-
Scotty submitted, when I talked to Scott, he submitted paperwork that was needed.
Like supporting documents or whatever, stuff.
You know, for them to get the grant money for it, cause whatever Martin Kaiser told him to put in, or, you know, he submitted it, so I think they're waiting now for, a reply from him.
Yeah, it's good, so hopefully.
And he,
I'll
and like,
sustain, yeah.
and like he's, you know, some of his pleas on it was the trail, you know, needing a way to get into the trail if they have an emergency, you know, like even the winter time when you can't get a vehicle down it, open up the gate and go, you know, that six-wheeler or whatever has looked into, you know, would be able to get back into it.
Yeah, I don't think any of the fire departments around here have one of those either, right?
I don't know, not that I know.
I don't think so.
I think Wilcox has.
I was saying something.
I think Wilcox.
Oh, they do.
Yeah, I've seen it in their parades, yeah.
Okay.
But that's more time, you know, as far as to get here.
Oh, yeah, yeah, I mean, it'll definitely be good to have.
But anyhow, he's submitted stuff, so I think he's waiting for some replies. All right, Annie, I'll let you, library.
So the meeting was on May 14th, that was the first one I'd been to ever, it was a good meeting, there's a lot of good programs that they've been putting on, sounds like they've been getting a lot of participation, so they had a Stuff a Plush event, was 22 kids, it 28 kids come to an early learning Easter event, I guess there was a beekeeper there on the 31st, I was out of town, so I'm not sure how that went, but meet the
I was
beekeeper,
Indiana, so I didn't get to.
but, so
I
yeah.
forgot to ask Patty Kiesler today how many looked like showed up, cause she wanted to go up and see what it was about.
Yeah, but she's got some good programs scheduled over the summer. There's gonna be a 6-week 4-H course. June and July, they're gonna be working with agriculture and STEM and ecology. Outdoor plant swap, that sounds like fun. Like, I guess you can bring one and take one. They're hoping to have Danny the therapy dog and a doggy agility course as well. So I thought, oh, okay, so that's some different stuff and get kids involved. And of course, they still, you know, don't have a library card, go get one because that helps their numbers. That's all I got.
Okay, code enforcement, who's even on that now? It was,
Right, Barb.
I mean, as far as code enforcement, actually Barb and I have been doing a lot of the, stuff. I've been out. I've been talking to people and trying to be nice, or, you know, tell them, please take care of some things so that, you know, I don't have to, otherwise the letter's gonna come, then things are gonna follow, so. And if any of y'all see code violations or ordinance violations, you know, the best way to do is have a chat with them, you know, try to get them on their own just to take care of things, not,
The last one you chatted to.
because one of them, the ones I had her send, you know, she got called every name probably you could think of.
Yeah, I know that guy.
So finally Barb just hung up the phone.
No, Frank, I think it's a different one than you're thinking of.
Oh. So I spoke to that one about garbage.
Yeah, this is a
It's
different one.
Yeah.
But the last one you talked to about the vehicle, he took care of it right away.
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
Good.
Called me right away, said, Barb, I'm taking care of this right now. Like, okay.
Good.
So.
Okay, sewer operations.
First and foremost, you can see that Marty isn't here. I asked him not to come just because it is only a status update. Everything he would be saying is just exactly what I can say to you anyway. So I talked to him, and basically, each group you've probably seen is driving around town in the trucks. They're doing a lot of surveying for all the elevations and locations of different sewer accoutrements. They're about halfway done. They should be done by the end of the month with all the surveying. This week or next week, we will have the pump station design and delivered to Barb to submit to DEP. What they expect to design will consist of an additional holding tank, approximately 10,000 gallons, and upgrade the pump from what is estimated to be about 100 gallons a minute to 350 gallons a minute. Marty will be in the area Wednesday or Thursday. I will actually be over there with him when he comes. He told me he'd get a hold of me to test the in-place pump. So what that encompasses is they're going to turn off the pumps that are currently going, let it fill up, and then let it drain, and that'll give them. So the 100 gallons a minute that I just mentioned is estimated based on what we've seen so far, but that'll give us a true value of approximately how much it can pump. This month, EATS will also apply for NPDES permit. This is just due to they'll be moving more than an acre of land, and so they have to apply for it. So that is it for the sewer operations.
Something else, and I haven't talked to you about it, but I talked to Tom Davis, and he's been pretty busy. I was hoping he could have something for me by tonight, but I want him to go down and look at those motors that are the 10-horse motors or whatever that was they had bought that time. I wanted he's gonna go down and look at them, see if they could be switched out and put a 3-horse back on them, and then check the shafts and stuff, or to see if maybe we just want to invest into the whole new system, or motor with the shaft with the propeller.
But that's what we have already at the 10-horse.
We don't, it's not being used because the wiring isn't big.
Well, yeah. Well, what would it cost to do the wiring? Because I know
200 and, what was it, 200 something?
The first part, not to do it all, but to get them started in the first few would be 250,000.
Yeah.
And that was a quote 6 months ago.
Yeah. Yeah, that was, cause.
just to upgrade that electric.
Yeah.
Oh, it's majorly behind on.
It
I
seems
mean, I
like
know
an awful big number.
he's pretty fussy about his electrical, but I trust him, I know that.
Oh, no, I'm not saying, I'm just saying it just seems costly.
But I wanna, as far as the, try to, to close some mouths that we're trying, to do something, I'd like to get, if we can get the 3 horsepower on those and get them in place and get them working along with those solar pumps that are out there, I think we'd be, heading in the right direction.
Well, I've seen the sludge reports. Nothing much has changed. I think they took more data points this time around.
From my understanding, I think they tried making a little map so they're taking them at the same points each time.
Yeah, so it's more like a topographical, except under the water.
But it's something that I think we need to be doing, and if we end up getting this grant that we can change some of the stuff and upgrade all of what needs to be upgraded, then we do it, but at least we got something going underway right now.
That was a question I had for Jesse. The dredging that they're talking about, they're gonna dredge it, are they gonna line it too?
Are they gonna
Line the ponds?
They shouldn't have to. I mean, that's all.
But I thought that was more of a standard now, that
But
the ponds were lined.
It should already be there, I would think. I mean,
But
it's just an.
That's a clay liner, I'm sure what these are, aren't they, just a clay lining?
That's what these are, yeah.
Just in general, it's just an impermeable layer that.
So they don't use the,
Plastic.
it would be a rubber liner?
No.
Okay.
No, these are clay lined.
But the liner shouldn't even be replaced. To me, that would be not only then dredging, we'd have to drain them, we'd have to dig it up, cause the liner isn't exactly on the water, I don't believe.
Yeah.
So, I don't.
That's the only reason I'm asking, because, I mean, that hasn't been touched since the 60s or something, right?
Right.
So who knows? I mean, it's not like you scuba dive there and look.
Well, I guess I'm trying to think of like.
I guess you probably could if you wanted to.
Well, what I'm thinking is, it would end up probably, so what would cause it to be replaced or need to be replaced is obviously cracks in it or simply put sludge and water going through it, right? To me, that would show up in the effluent reports because it would essentially bypass everything, but the reason why the effluent is where it is it's lower in elevation, so everything goes through it, is the way what I understand it. Take that with a grain of salt, but that's the way I understand it.
I've always heard if the ponds weren't lined right, or at least from a few people, it leaches down through the bottom of the ponds back down into the water system, or the aquifer. So I don't know.
That's fair to bring up.
Well, I mean, if we're going for it, you might as well try to go for everything you could possibly get, so we're pretty much top of the line. And maybe not have to worry about something for about another 90 years.
That's the hope, yeah.
Anything else?
That is it, all for me.
Okay, whole business, the plaque, we already discussed that. You can get with Alicia and have her, maybe you can get that from Barb and.
No, I'll come down here.
Alright, that way she has something she can look at.
The Hamlin with the lawyer,
What's that?
chapter 9 in our borough code, it went to our lawyer. And he wanted to look at the contract.
For, what's BTUs, that isn't right.
EDUs.
EDUs. We haven't heard from the lawyer?
He hasn't had anything since I sent him the contract.
Mm.
I can reach out to him again.
I mean, again, I think the biggest thing there is we'll just have to eat it for now because it was under the authority, not under the council.
Oh, and Hamlin really doesn't have any kind of representation here, as they had prior. And I believe it says in borough code they're supposed to have some kind of representation.
I don't know.
I don't know, would it be their problem if they didn't show up?
No, what I'm saying is, just like with the old authority, there was generally one person from Hamlin Township on the authority, or at least that's the way it used to be. I don't
Yeah,
know if
because
it changed.
the Authorities Act says it has to be.
And I'm pretty sure the borough code states they need some kind of representation, and I don't know how that needs to be addressed.
I don't know how you would address it when it's a borough-owned system and because a Hamlin Township resident can't sit on our board.
No, they can't.
So,
But there could be a separate board.
He could be on the committee.
Yeah, it could just be in the committee. And say Trussell kept informed, or something of that nature.
Not opposed to it, I just don't know about it.
Yeah. I'll have to get,
I'll reach out to John again.
alright, the bids for the Park, we're, in the process right now, waiting for, what is it, DCNR or whatever that's involved in that too?
Yeah, DCNR.
Basically, we have to go by what they tell us what we have to do as far as, as far as what we have to do for rebidding and stuff like that, so. That's what the guy said on the phone.
Yeah,
on
he-
Friday.
Well, she said the extension for the 1 grand is into next summer.
Right, but I mean, we gotta,
The one is, the other one I've always, the DCED grant, I've already asked for an extension and they gave it to me till the end of June of next year. The other one is good until the end of October of next year.
Oh, it's good until the end of October.
Yeah, so we could, they
And
may
what
give
about
you an
the little one?
extension, but
From, what was that, who are those people? They give us like $17,000. We go to the meetings, dear. Ron Kine.
NCCF,
Oh,
your commissioners.
McKean County
Planning?
Planning Committee.
I didn't get anything from them.
So I'm pretty sure we were awarded a small part from them.
I got 32,000 from the commissioners, ARPA money for a Greenways grant.
That goes through the committee. They recommend to the commissioners For the commissioners to
that's
But
approve
it came
for
from the
the-
commissioners,
Yeah,
so,
in the end, that's where it would
Yeah.
come from.
but I don't deal
We
with
have
them
three
through the
separate
four.
grants.
Yeah.
Right.
It's
Well-
already been given to us.
50-some thousand, I think.
Somewhere in there.
Cause
I
like the
think
trail deals with
300,
them,
400,000.
like they'll go down to present
Ah,
why they need a grant and this and that, and then the
Okay.
we
committee
can't piece that up.
recommends it to the commissioners and the
See, we didn't
commissioners.
do any of
No.
that. This was
No.
come from
We
ARPA
should
money, agreements
Be
grant.
allowed to
I
do
submitted
changes
it
and
to
stuff,
somebody,
It was completely different.
right.
Not have to go through all the headaches.
Motion to adjourn.
Okay, can I have a motion to adjourn if there's no other business?
Oh, somebody asked me about public comment at the end of the meeting. Why was that taken away?
Cause I didn't want it.
Okay. Works for me.
Can we
Motion
just
to
put out
adjourn.
for public comment that the Hilltop Heritage is not in charge of the Pocket Park project? I know you guys talk about it immensely every month, but I'm getting pushback as to why I'm raising money for a community center when I haven't even broken ground for the Pocket Park, so we're just gonna put that out there for everybody
Oh.
to know. Thank you.
Okay,
Motion to adjourn.
We're throwing it out.
second by Jane, everybody in favor, I hope.
Aye.
See you later.
If not,
Roll call vote.